I'm here with the owner of Riner Rentals, Paul, and we've gotten a lot of questions lately just about renewals and off-campus living from students and parents alike. Just asking, why does this process start so early? It does feel like, everyone just got here, still getting accustomed to this year, and now we have to think about housing for next year. So why is that?
So it's interesting. At JMU, the housing calendar starts much earlier than a lot of colleges and universities. And for whatever reason, as long as I've been with Riner Rentals, almost 20 years, the student rental cycle has looked like this. But there are a few reasons that renewal notices are sent so early and why deadlines are moved up to the beginning of the semester. So I'd love to kind of walk you through that so you kind of understand why the deadlines are what they are. The first point to know is that we want to give our current residents as much time as we possibly can to make a decision on their living situation for next year. So one of the reasons that it goes out so early is because we want to give them plenty of time to be able to know, do we want to stay where we are? Do we want to, are there roommates who are leaving and we need to add more roommates and stay, or are we all moving out, and make the house available to someone else? So we typically send those out at the end of August because students need to know by October 1st what they'd like to do. And that deadline is important because that is established by James Madison University. That is the day of their off-campus student housing fair. So it's hard to be able to help students find a place to live if we don't know what will be available the following year. So our deadline kind of corresponds with the off-campus housing fair. The other piece that a lot of people forget about are the on-campus housing contracts. I'm not sure when the deadline is this year, but for instance, last year, students had to let James Madison know by October 14th whether or not they wanted to remain on campus for an upperclassman year. And so that leaves about 2 weeks between the off-campus housing fair and the on-campus contracts being due for students to make an informed decision on what they want to do as far as housing. And so, it really is a timeline that is impacted by a lot of different things, both James Madison's on-campus housing contracts, the off-campus life housing fair where students can learn about all the housing options that they have, as well as our desire to make sure that our current residents have as much time to make a decision if they'd like to renew their lease before we market their rental to the greater student population. So we understand that it's early. I want everyone to hear that. We understand that it's early. And I actually went to college somewhere else, and it was very, very different. The housing season kind of went all the way up until the fall semester. But at James Madison, because there's a limited availability of some types of housing, it does start earlier, much earlier than most universities. And so we try to make sure that we are within reason as far as when we send our notices out. So we encourage our current residents to start thinking even now about what they'd like to do next year. And we encourage either freshmen who are living on campus or those who are living off campus who might be looking for a new living situation next year to go ahead and start thinking about that, so that as properties come available, they know exactly what they're looking for. And we feel like we're a good fit for students because we have 1-bedroom apartments and we have 8-bedroom houses and we have a lot in between. And so we have a lot of different unique options that are kind of outside of some of the big student housing apartment complexes. And so a lot of students who might be looking for something more unique or something closer to campus should give us a call.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. I hope that answers a lot of you guys' questions.